Robert Mueller's testimony is turning out to be an absolute disaster for the Democrats and the media. They all told us he was supposed to be the guy who was going to take down the president and be the savior of the republic. But after his lackluster performance, Democrats and the media are now throwing Mueller under the bus, including filmmaker Michael Moore, who furiously tweeted, "A frail old man, unable to remember things, stumbling, refusing to answer basic questions. I said it in 2017, and Mueller confirmed it today. All you pundits and moderates and lame Dems who told the public to put their faith in the esteemed Robert Mueller, just shut the bleep up from now on." Then there's the liberal media's eating their own words after telling America that Mueller's testimony would be a game changer.
Democrats who were counting on Mueller to move the ball forward didn't get exactly what they wanted today.
They fumbled the entire accountability mission. On optics, this was a disaster.
It was a shaky performance. I think that's fair to say.
He looked like somebody who'd slowed a step or two. Maybe he wasn't even in control of all those angry Democrats.
It is shocking in the age of Trump to look at the Democratic Party and how inept they seem to be time and time again.
Meanwhile, President Trump and Republicans are in full-on victory mode, and rightfully so.
This was a devastating day for the Democrats. The Democrats had nothing, and now they have less than nothing.
Bob Mueller was trying to defend the indefensible. That report was incoherent as written, and it was worse as played out on live TV.
A train wreck, an unmitigated disaster. Expectations always outpace the reality with congressional hearings, but the disparity yesterday was pretty stark.
It's time for the curtain to close on the Russia hoax. The conspiracy theory is dead.
All right, Martha, one of the main reasons, and there's many reasons why yesterday didn't go well, but one of the main reasons is he was never going to live up to expectations because the media had built Mueller up to be a god. And he was impeachable and just a statesman and tenacious and thorough. And we didn't see that. And everyone was disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this is a question. It's not a question of which side you're on. It's a question of whether or not this moment was politically successful or whether it was politically a failure. And I think that, you know, and that's why there's such broad spread agreement that it was a political failure. I think that Jerry Nadler looks terrible in this situation because he's the one who put his party really on the line and banked on this in such a big way. And think back to the moment when Bill Barr, a week or so ago, said, you know, if Mueller decides not to go, the DOJ will back him on that, right? They delayed it for a week. Then Bill Barr sends out that little message, which I think was just the door opening saying, you can take a pass. You don't have to do this, because there was knowledge behind the scenes, I think, on the part of a lot of people. That, you know, perhaps Mr. Mueller, you know, wouldn't be able to present the material in the way that really would be a home run for them at this point. You know, and B, that the material itself was lacking.
Right. It wasn't just the optics. It was the substance of it, because he'd never been cross-examined, Greg. No one had been cross-examined, and he kind of wilted under cross-examination.
Yeah, they expected Geronimo, and they got Jared All. You know, the Trump presidency has been nothing but a succession of terrible Christmas mornings for the media. Every week, the night before, it happens once a week, the night before, they're expecting that pony under the Christmas tree, and they get a bag of hair, a bag of smelly hair. They expected Mueller to bring that case to life, and he euthanized it. And it was not his fault. They knew they were bringing somebody out of retirement. It was like asking a flying Wallenda at 95 to walk between two buildings, and he's been out of practice. Why does this keep happening? It's the disconnect created by the Democrats' emotional bias. The reality is always going to be different than the movie that they're watching. So every day for them is supposed to be Apocalypse Now, and it always ends up being Happy Feet. And I think what you're seeing here is their irrational hysteria about this one thing led to just a soul-crushing defeat. And I almost, but not really, feel bad for them.
No, yesterday you said you felt bad for Mueller.
I texted you that, and you weren't supposed to tell
I think you said that
How
on
would
the
you
air.
not? If you're not a human being, if you didn't feel a little bit sorry for
they would have
who's
danced.
had an amazing career
Right.
and who obviously was put in a situation that he should never have been put in. And I just want to say one quick thing.
Yeah.
You know, Brian Kilmeade got lambasted for coming out several weeks ago and saying, I wonder how familiar Robert Mueller really is with the details of the report. You know, just raked over the coals. Well, he looks pretty smart yesterday.
Wait a minute, Kilmeade?
Yes, I know.
We don't say those kind of things on the show, Martha.
We got
to
Kilmeade.
Kilmeade where he belongs.
Folks.
We don't want him getting a big head. But to Kilmeade's point, we found out in the New York Times reported this today, Kennedy, Aaron Zelbley, who was the guy who was next to him, his aide, he was effectively running this investigation, they said. He was the chief of staff, running all the meetings. And guess who he was? He was the guy that represented the guy that set up Clinton's secret email server and helped him destroy BlackBerries with a hammer. So now we know that Clinton set up Trump, and then she investigated him.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah,
that is,
you like that?
That is a multi-purpose
I mean, it's not Kilmeade material, but it's good.
But my question for Democrats is, why didn't they do a little bit more investigation? Because they're considering themselves an investigatory body. So why don't you figure out who has the best answers and who has the best defense of the Mueller report and who can frame it in such a way that it will do the most political damage? Because
obviously
there
Mueller,
were a lot of political people on the team. So if it's Andrew Weissman, like, now you can't trot him out before the joint committees.
Right.
You absolutely cannot do that. And the president was right about taking too many bites at the apple, because these are not horses in Central Park. These are supposed to be serious legislators, and they really whiffed on this one. And we are so used to both parties spinning like tops when they get bad news. And it's one of the few times where you will see consensus on all sides of people saying, yeah, wow, this was really horrible.
One of the theories,
disastrous.
One of the theories, Jessica, is that, you know, Mueller is a lawyer. He knew he was under oath, and he's very precise, and he has a lot of integrity. And he wanted to just make sure he heard all of the answers very clearly. That's why he asked everybody to repeat them so specifically.
I don't think mocking Bob Mueller's
I'm not
theory-
mocking. I'm just repeating a theory that's been out there.
There's a lot of disgusting theorizing that's going on and commenting on his health and what status he's in. And I feel like in this conversation so far, we actually have only really been talking about the optics. There were a number of pieces of substance that came out of this hearing that make a tremendous amount of difference. For instance, President Trump was not exonerated or exculpated.
Because he can't be.
You can't be.
You start with the presumption of innocence.
Yeah.
You don't
Are you
start with
guys
the
kidding me?
presumption
There's
of
no
guilt.
court that can do that.
You don't erode the presumption of guilt.
Okay, sure. Moving on to the next one.
You're 0 for 1, Jessica.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Go ahead. I'm
All
sorry.
right, Jessica. Val Demings, in her questioning, uncovered in both hearings that President Trump and other members of his team had falsified their testimony when they met with members of the FBI and the. Why are you looking at me perplexed? That's
I
a
didn't
fact.
hear that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, are you
Continue.
aging?
Yes, can you say that again?
Is that a little old, Jesse Waters?
I'll take that
Okay.
question.
All right, here we got another one. OLC guidelines,
Yeah.
right? And what that prohibited him from doing from the get-go. That's the referral. Not what Ted Lieu said. That's not the reason that he didn't indict.
Well, and he also
But it
clarified that.
But he clarified to say that because of OLC guidelines, they were not trying to make a determination in this. Not that he couldn't be indicted
No, he
after
said they
he leaves
didn't
office.
make a determination.
That's right.
It wasn't
Right.
because of the OLC guidelines. The OLC guidelines say that you can't indict a sitting president, but that's actually
Right, so they
two
didn't
different
even look
things.
into it, is my
But
point. That
his-
doesn't mean he didn't commit
his
obstruction of justice.
non-determination of guilt is essentially innocence.
Right.
No,
a
it's not.
non-decision.
It goes back to your first point, which you were wrong on. You can't decide this.
You
no
guys
court
invite
can.
me to your show, and then you treat me like
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm saying.
I'm going back to out number.
Are you, wait. Are you saying that you
I'm
think
not
things
done.
went well?
No, what I am saying is, first of all, I do think the Intel Committee meeting hearing went well.
Better.
It went better. Adam Schiff knew exactly what he was doing. Those questions were looking for one-word answers. He seemed clear on where Bob Mueller was and what he needed to accomplish. There are sound bites for Democrats coming out of this that will be in every 2020 ad talking about working with Russians, Paul Manafort.
I don't think they're going to want to remind anybody of it.
Really?
If
I
Bob
think some of
Mueller
their own
saying
moments of them reading or
problematic.
asking a question, perhaps, but. Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
All right, we got to go. But if Democrats are going to run campaign ads on the Mueller testimony, sorry, not going to happen.